I am here and I get to talk about Mr. Consistent. My Mr. Consistent is going to be Andrew Mukuba because Andrew Mukuba came over from Clemson, made an immediate impact, and did every single thing this Texas defense needed him to do and maybe even more, which is fantastic. One of my favorite things, before I get into this, let me just say hook 'em. One of my favorite things is when a player comes over to a new team and can slot in and make an immediate impact. We all know in 2023, my Texas Longhorns defense was not very good in the secondary. Our secondary, I don't even want to talk about our secondary. And yes, some people could argue that we didn't get a lot of pressure, so that impacted our secondary. I got it. But overall, we needed help in our safety position, and we got it from Andrew Mukuba coming over from Clemson. So I like Mr. Consistent because one thing about Andrew Mukuba is he is just consistent. He is the guy that's going to do the things you need him to do. I can think of every single game that I watched him play last year. I don't think there was one game where I mentioned his name in a negative way or where I was like, oh, why did he do that? Or, oh, why did he do that? Or come on, or whatever. For me, I just think Mukuba is consistent. I think he is just Mr. Consistent. When I think about him, when I think about this Texas defense, when I think about everything he brought to the team, I think he is consistent. And I am sorry if you can hear the birds chirping, but they seem to be pretty excited that I'm out here recording. But seriously, Andrew Mukuba is my Mr. Consistent. I'm super excited to get on the other side of this video and tell you all the things that make Andrew Mukuba absolutely fantastic and Mr. Consistent. If you are a Texas fan, you are well aware of the instance where Andrew Mukuba knew that the team needed a pick-me-up. He knew that the team needed something. He knew that the team needed leadership. But what he also knew is that he wasn't the leader that could motivate the team. So what did he do? He goes over to Jahdae Barron, tells Jahdae, hey, the team needs a little something. Can you give them a little something because this team is going to listen to you? And guess what happened? The team listened to Jahdae and they responded. My point in saying this is I think a lot of times we always want to be the guy. We always want to be the person. We always want to be the whatever. Andrew Mukuba showed in that moment that he understood what his position was on the team and that he knew who the leader was, and he was going to go get the leader to really help this Texas team. You will also notice my camera is moving and doing all these kind of things. I'm testing out our new technology, so I hope this works well and I hope I don't look crazy. But as I see it move, I feel like I'm going a little crazy. However, having said all of that, I'm super excited that Andrew Mukuba is on this list. I feel like he is going to be a great safety that is probably going to be in the NFL for a long time. Andrew Mukuba is never probably going to do anything too flashy. Yes, he hits hard. Yes, he runs fast. Yes, he does all the things, but some people might consider him undersized, and that's fine. But what he lacks in size, he gains that in football IQ. His teammates like him. Everybody speaks very highly of him. And I credit Andrew Mukuba for really helping this Texas defense really get back to where they're supposed to be. So I am super excited to talk about Andrew Mukuba. I'm going to do Andrew Mukuba like I've done everybody else that I've talked about, and I'm going to talk about the 5 things that I'm going to talk about when it comes to Mukuba, when it comes to Mr. Consistent, and how I'm looking at him and evaluating him before this NFL draft. So like I've done everybody else, I'm going to talk about my 5 things. My 5 things, the first thing is going to be his combine numbers and what I saw at the combine. Second thing is going to be his pro day, what I think about his pro day, how I feel like his pro day went, all of those other things. The third thing is going to be a mighty competition, and here comes an airplane, so sorry for that if you can hear that. The fourth thing is going to be his stats and team needs, like who I think needs a safety and things like that. And then the very last thing is going to be my eye test. And we should all know by now that my eye test means a whole lot to me. My eye test is everything I am as a football watcher. And I'm excited that I implemented using my eye test as one of the 5 because I think I have a lot of great things to say about these players and a lot of things that I remember seeing throughout the games and things like that. And now I become stiff because this thing is going to move and it's going to throw me off. Anyways, let me get to this video and start talking about his combine numbers so I can give you a couple of details and tell you what I'm thinking about when it comes to Andrew Mukuba, because who doesn't like consistency? I'm just popping in here to say, hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Why are you watching content and you're not subscribed to my channel? Do me a solid, subscribe to my channel, like the video, and I will disappear from your screen and I will let you get into your video. So the combine didn't hurt him. It didn't necessarily catapult him to being anything better than he was before. He was always in the top 10 of safeties. Some people have him at number 3 at safety. Some people have him number 4. Some people have him number 7. Some people have him at number 5. Like everybody has Andrew Mukuba in the top 10. So that's one thing he's consistent about. And so his testing didn't really surprise me. So when I look at Andrew Mukuba's testing numbers, again, nothing really stands out, right? So he's probably 6 foot. He's a senior, 186 pounds, 9-inch hands. Like nothing really shocked me. His combine, his 40-yard dash didn't shock me either. His splits didn't shock me. Like honestly, there's just nothing that Andrew Mukuba does that is not in lockstep with him just being consistent. I don't know how else to say that. I feel like he's just going to do everything you need him to do, and he's going to be everything you expect him to be. And I love that. He's almost safe. Like he's a safe pick. He does what he's supposed to do. However, when he's out on that football field, he makes plays. He makes plays and he steps in big time moments, and that is exactly what you want from a player like him. If you were here with me for my February challenge, I will tag that video somewhere here. You will know that the dog barking that I mentioned before in my video actually does want to play with me. He's not trying to eat me, but that's neither here or there. However, one thing I realized with watching Pro Day is that safeties really are in a bad position. There's not really much he can do. We saw his measurables, we saw his numbers, we saw the things, we've seen the tape, we've seen all the things. So for me, Pro Day, Andrew Mukuba, check. I don't know. There's not really much I can say about Andrew Mukuba and Pro Day because I feel like the Pro Day isn't really for the safeties, but that's just my own 2 cents. So let me go ahead and get into the competition. Just like everything else with him, he's consistent. He stepped up in big time games. He had an interception against Michigan. He had an interception against Georgia. He had a fumble. He created a fumble against Georgia. He had the game sealing interception against Arizona State. Like Andrew Mukuba just does what he needs to do. He's the ultimate team guy. He's the ultimate team player. Like I said before, he came into Texas, brand new team, knew his role, took care of business, and to me was really a bright spot on that defense. I think any team that gets Andrew Mukuba is really going to benefit from it because he just brings something that everybody needs. I always say everybody needs a guy on their team that that brings like a little bit of edge, or that's going to bring like a little bit of dynamic or a little bit of swag or just a little bit of something. Andrew Mukuba is going to do that. And so I'm excited to see him in the NFL because I really think he is going to be great for a team in the NFL. The one thing I will call out here is that if you don't know, he did come from Clemson. I said that earlier in the video. And so I just want to call that out here because I don't want to act like all of these stats happen at the University of Texas. For some reason, anytime you talk about the University of Texas, everyone is trying to make sure you don't, misstep or whatever. Anyways, if you look at his season stats, for 41 solo tackles, you see his interceptions, you see his stats there. However, what I always say, he's not going to do anything that's going to flash out when you look at him number-wise. However, if you turn on that film and you watch him during the game and you watch him make plays, he's phenomenal. Obviously, 5 interceptions is not a bad thing. And so I just want to call that out there because I think it's important to say. But when I look at his overall stats, it's evident in how great he was. I mean, he was in the ACC. He played at Clemson 2021, 2022, 2023, and then obviously at Texas in 2024. The other great thing I like seeing with Andrew Mukuba is that he has continued to get better. And the cool thing about him is he was a 4-year starter. And so everywhere he has gone, he has been the starter and he has earned that role. And I think that matters. I really like when people play as freshmen and work to get better and really polish their games. I think that's fantastic. I think Andrew Mukuba is going to be a great NFL player. I think he's going to be one of those NFL players that just stays in the NFL for a while and just does what needs to be done. He's put in the work. He's done everything he needs to do. And I'm excited to see him play in the NFL. The other thing is there's about 18 teams that are looking for safeties at this time. And so to say that he's going to be on a team, I think is inevitable. He's listed or ranked as a top 10 safety. So when you're a top 10 and there's about 18 teams that need a safety, chances are you're probably going to be on a team unless he does something dumb. Like, God, I hope he doesn't. I don't think he will. I'm just saying that. However, I like Andrew Mukuba. I want Andrew Mukuba on my football team. I want guys like Andrew Mukuba on my football team because he's going to hit hard. He's going to do all the things he needs to do. And I like Andrew Mukuba in this draft. If I get so lucky to have Andrew Mukuba become a Steeler and to play with my team, that is okay with me. I think he has earned it. I think he is consistent. I think he plays hard. I think he loves football. And most importantly, I think he's going to make that position better. One of the negative things about Andrew Mukuba is always going to be his size. However, where he lacks in size, I think he makes up in attitude. I think he makes up in consistency, and I think he makes up for in being a great teammate and to learning and to wanting to be the best. I believe Andrew Mukuba is going to go day 2, and I'm excited to see him go day 2. I'm excited for his name to be called, and I'm excited to see him on an NFL team playing on Sundays because he has earned it.